How did one sentence in our kitchen end with papers being handed to me in a public lobby while everyone watched me turn pale? Why did my husband stay calm, say almost nothing, and still make me lose the house, the money, and the perfect wife image in one day? My name is Isobel Marrow. Most people called me Izzy because it sounded cute and easy. I was 34 then, and I worked as an office administrator at a dental group. It was not a fancy job, but it was steady. Steady was good. Steady paid bills. I also had a husband who looked good on paper. Graham Marrow was 37. He wore clean shirts. He paid on time. He had a calm voice. He made people feel safe in a boring way. When I met him, I told myself that safety was love. I still say that sometimes, even now. But the truth is simple. I liked the life he could build. That morning, I stood in our kitchen and watched sunlight hit the marble counter. It was the kind of counter you post online. It looked like a magazine. I had picked it. I had picked the paint color too. When I looked at the room, I felt proud, like I had won something. Graham walked in with his phone and a travel mug. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said I already had some. He looked at the counter where I had left a brochure for a new sofa. He asked why I wanted another sofa when the old one was fine. I said the old one made the living room look tired. He asked what the new one cost. I said he always made money feel like a problem. He told me we should talk about a budget. I told him budgets were for people who lived small. He said he was not trying to control me. He was trying to plan. I said planning was another word for control. He did not raise his voice. That annoyed me. He opened his laptop at the edge of the kitchen island. I saw boxes and numbers in a spreadsheet. It was plain. No bright colors. No cute labels. It looked like a cage made of lines. He asked if we could both sit and go through the month. I said I had to get to work. He asked if we could do it tonight. I said he always picked the worst time. He watched me grab my bag. He asked why I had been coming home late so often. I told him the office was busy. He said he could call my manager and ask if they needed help, like he was being helpful. I said that would embarrass me. He asked why it would embarrass me if it was true. I said he was acting paranoid. I could see he wanted to say more. He did not. He closed the laptop slowly, like he was putting away a tool. I went to our entryway and slipped on my shoes. On the little shelf by the door, there was a framed photo from a trip we took last year. We looked happy in it. People always looked happy in photos. I still think pictures are just costumes. Graham asked if I was still going to brunch with Kara and Tessa. I said yes. He said he hoped I had a good time. Then he asked me to please come home at a normal hour tonight. I said he was not my father. I left before he could reply. At the cafe, Kara was already there with her big sunglasses and her phone held high, like it was part of her face. She was my sister, and she was always ready to take sides. Tessa sat across from her, flipping her hair and checking who viewed her stories. They both smiled when I arrived. I felt warm in that smile, like I belonged somewhere. Kara asked how things were at home. I said Graham was being difficult. Tessa asked what he did this time. I said he kept acting like money was his, not ours. I said he wanted to review every purchase. Kara rolled her eyes and said that sounded exhausting. Tessa said men like that got worse with age. No one asked if I was fair. They just nodded. That is the comfort of having a team. The waitress brought us drinks. Kara asked if I was still thinking about the girls' weekend in Montreal. I said yes, and told them Graham was dragging his feet about it. Kara said I should go anyway. Tessa said I deserved fun after dealing with him. I laughed. I said Graham acted like he was my manager. Then I said, like it was a joke, that I sometimes felt like I married a sponsor. Tessa laughed too loudly. Kara made a face like she was impressed. I felt powerful. I liked that feeling more than I liked peace. I told them Graham used to try harder. I said he used to plan dates, and now he only planned bills. I said he looked at me like a project. I did not say that I also looked at him like a wallet. I did not have to. They already understood the story I wanted. After brunch, I drove toward the gym district. I told myself I needed to work out. I told myself it was about health. I said that word in my head like it made everything clean. I parked and walked toward the building with the smoothie shop next to it. That was when I saw Nico. Nico Reyes stood near the menu board, like he belonged there. He wore a fitted jacket and held a protein shake. He was not my type in a long-term way, but he was my type in a mirror way. He looked at me like I was the best part of his day. He asked how I was doing. I said I was busy. He said I looked tired and that I deserved someone who noticed. I told him I had a husband. He said having a husband did not mean having happiness. I said Graham was a good man, and Nico said good was not the same as loving. He asked if I wanted to sit for a minute. I said I had to go. He said he would walk with me to my car. I said that was fine. We talked about simple things. He asked what I did for work. I said I ran an office. He said that sounded stressful. He said, I must be the kind of woman who held everything together. I told him yes, I was. I liked how easy it was to say that. When he asked if he could text me later, I said he could. I told myself it was harmless because nothing happened. I used that word like a shield. At the office, I did not focus well. I kept checking my phone. When Nico sent a message saying he hoped my day got better, I smiled. I thought about how Graham never sent messages like that anymore. Then I told myself Graham made me need this. It is strange how fast I could turn my choices into someone else's fault. That evening, I came home later than I promised. The house was quiet. Graham was in the living room with a show playing but not really watched. He asked how work was. I said it was tiring. He asked if I ate. I said I grabbed something quick. He looked at me and asked if I was actually at work. I said yes. He asked why I smelled like a different cologne. I said it was from people at the office. He said no one at my office wore cologne like that. I asked him if he had become a scent expert. He did not answer. I walked into the kitchen and opened the fridge loudly, like noise could prove innocence. Graham followed me and asked again if we could talk. I said I was tired. He said he was tired too, but we needed to talk. That was when I saw his phone light up on the counter. A calendar reminder popped up. It said, downtown 10:40 a.m. No details, just that. He swiped it away fast. I asked what that was. He said it was a personal meeting. I asked why he had personal meetings now. He said he had things to handle. I said he was being secretive. He said he was trying to keep the house calm. I laughed at that. I told him the house was only calm when I did not speak. He asked why I was so sharp. I said because he pushed me. He asked if I even wanted to be married. I said he was always making everything dramatic. He said he needed honesty. I told him he could not handle honesty. Then I said it. I told him I never loved him, and I only married him for the lifestyle. The words felt clean when they left my mouth, like cutting a string, like being brave. For 1 second, I felt proud, like I had finally won the argument. Graham did not shout. He did not slam anything. He just stood there, very still. He looked at me like he was memorizing my face. Then he nodded once, slow, like he understood a task. And in that quiet nod, I felt something shift in the air, even though I did not know why yet. On Monday, I acted like nothing happened. I made breakfast for the kids. I packed Lila's lunch with extra fruit so I could feel like a good mother. I tied Ethan's shoes and told him to be kind at school. Graham stayed quiet. He moved around the kitchen like a guest. He asked if I meant what I said last night. I said he pushed me to honesty. He asked if I wanted to fix things. I said I wanted him to stop controlling the money and my time. He nodded again. He did not fight. That made me feel uneasy, so I turned it into anger. I told him he was giving me the silent treatment. He said he was trying to stay calm for the kids. I said calm was just another way to punish me. He did not answer. He kissed the kids on the head and left for work. I drove to my office with my heart beating fast, but I told myself it was normal. I told myself I was finally standing up for myself. I repeated it like a prayer. I still think I was right then. At the dental group, the open plan office smelled like coffee and disinfectant. Phones rang, printers clicked. I sat at my desk and opened the schedule. I tried to focus, but my mind kept sliding back to the kitchen and Graham's face. Tessa texted me early. She asked if I was okay after brunch drama talk. I said Graham was acting like a budget cop again. She sent a laughing emoji and said I should not let him dim me. Kara also texted. She said men who got comfortable stopped trying, and women had to protect their joy. I liked how that sounded. Joy felt like a good reason for anything. Around mid-morning, Meena Patel walked past my desk. Meena worked in the same building sometimes because her company shared services with ours. She was not my friend, but she was around. She asked if I had approved a reimbursement form that came through the shared system. I said I had not seen it. She said it had my name attached. I told her systems made mistakes, and she should not waste my time. Meena did not argue. She just said she would check again. Her face stayed neutral, but her eyes stayed on me a second too long. I felt judged. I hated that feeling. Later, my manager asked if I could stay a bit late to help with end-of-day claims. I said yes right away, because it gave me a clean excuse. In my head, I already knew I would not be here late, but saying yes made me feel safe. I could tell Graham I was working. I could tell myself I was not lying, because the option existed. At lunch, I scrolled through my social feed. I saw couples posting vacations. I saw women posting new handbags. I felt a tight ache in my chest. I told myself I deserved more, even though I already had more than most people. Want is a hungry thing. It does not care about facts. Nico texted me in the afternoon. He asked how my day was going. I said it was stressful. He said he wished he could pull me out of it. He said I deserved to be treated like a priority. I did not tell him I was married in those messages. I had told him before, yes, but I did not bring it up again. I told myself he already knew. I told myself it was on him too. Near the end of the workday, Graham texted and asked if we could talk after the kids went to bed. He said he wanted to do it calmly. I stared at the message and felt heat rise in my face. Calm talks were dangerous because they made me look bad. If he yelled, I could point to it. If he stayed calm, all that was left was my behavior. I told him I was busy and tired. He asked if I could give him 30 minutes. I said he always made things about him. He said our marriage was both of us. I did not reply after that. At 5:30, I left the office. I did not go home. I drove to a small bar near the gym district. It was the kind of place with bright lights and loud music even on a weekday. I told myself it was just happy hour. I told myself adults needed space. Nico was already there. He waved like we had a plan, even though we did not say it plainly. He asked if I wanted a drink. I said yes. He asked what was wrong at home. I said my husband made me feel trapped. I said Graham treated love like a contract. I said he only cared about numbers. Nico nodded like every word was true. He asked if Graham ever made me feel chosen. I said not anymore. I knew what I was doing. I just did not want to name it. Nico leaned close when he talked, and I let him. He asked if I was scared. I said I was just tired. He said tired women did not need more work. They needed relief. I laughed and said he sounded like an ad. He said maybe I needed someone to sell me a better life. I smiled even though I should not have. Tessa and 2 other friends showed up later. Tessa asked if I was with coworkers. I said yes. Nico stood next to me like he belonged there. Tessa raised her eyebrows, but she did not ask questions in front of others. She liked secrets more than truth. Someone suggested a group photo. I did not stop it. I stood near Nico, and his arm rested around my shoulders. It was casual, but it was also not. When the phone flashed, I felt a sharp thrill. It felt like proof that I was still wanted. I left the bar around 7. I drove home and practiced my face in the mirror at a red light. I made it look tired but calm. I made it look like a woman who was trying. At home, Graham was in the living room with the kids. Lila was coloring. Ethan was stacking blocks. Graham asked how work went. I said it was long. He asked if I ate. I said I grabbed something quick. He looked at me and asked if I'd been drinking. I said one drink at happy hour was normal. He asked why I did not tell him. I said he was not my keeper. He asked if there was someone else. I laughed like it was silly. I said he was imagining things because he wanted to blame me for his coldness. He said he was not cold. He was hurt. I told him hurt men tried to control women. He said he would not argue in front of the kids. He asked if we could talk later. I said later always meant him lecturing me. I picked up my bag and went upstairs. In the bedroom, my phone buzzed again. A notification popped up from the social app. Tessa had posted the group photo. Nico's arm was around me. My smile looked real. Under it, someone had commented with a shocked face emoji. Another person had liked it fast. My stomach dropped, and then I told myself it did not matter. Downstairs, I heard Graham's phone vibrate. The sound carried up the stairs like a warning. I held my breath and waited, telling myself I had done nothing wrong. Saturday came fast, like the week wanted to bury itself. I woke up and checked my phone before I checked on the kids. The photo from happy hour was still up. Tessa had not deleted it. I told myself that if it was still there, it meant it was fine. I always used other people's actions to excuse mine. Graham did not bring up the picture in the morning. He moved around the kitchen and made oatmeal for Ethan. He cut strawberries for Lila. He asked Lila about her spelling words. She answered and smiled. He asked Ethan about his blocks. Ethan said he made a tower. Graham acted like a normal father. That made me feel small in a way I did not like. I tried to start a fight to feel in control again. I asked if he saw the photo. He said he saw it. I asked if he wanted to accuse me again. He said he did not want to accuse. He wanted the truth. I said the truth was that he pushed me away. He asked how a photo with another man was his fault. I said it was just a photo and he was dramatic. He asked if I would stop meeting Nico. I said I was allowed to have friends. He said friends did not hold you like that. I told him he was trying to police my body. He said he was not policing. He was asking for respect. I said respect followed results, and I had results. I said I ran the house, the kids' schedule, and my job, and he still complained. He looked at me for a long moment and then looked away. That afternoon we had a family dinner planned. It was at a restaurant with a long table, the kind of place where families celebrated birthdays. Cara said it would reset things. I knew what she meant. She wanted witnesses. She wanted the story to move into the open where it was easier to control with smiles. Before we left, I saw Graham in the hallway with his phone. A soft beep came from it, like a recording app starting and stopping. He did not look at me when it happened. He put the phone in his pocket and walked past me like nothing happened. I told myself I imagined it. I told myself he was only checking a voice note for work. I did not want to admit the other option. In the car, the kids talked about dessert. Graham asked Lila if she wanted to sit next to him at the restaurant. She said yes. I felt a quick sting. I told myself she was only doing it because he gave her too much attention lately. I also told myself children did not know what they wanted, which was a cruel thought, but it made me feel less guilty. At the restaurant, Cara and my parents were already there. Tessa came too, even though she was not family. She said she was support. I liked that word. It made me sound like the one being hurt. Ruth and Dean arrived with Graham. Ruth hugged the kids first. She hugged me second, and it felt polite, not warm. Dean asked Graham how work was. Graham said it was busy. Dean asked if everything at home was okay. Graham said they were managing. No one asked me directly. That bothered me, so I decided to take the air back. Once we sat, Cara started telling stories loudly. She told my mother about a co-worker's bad breakup. She said men got weird when women grew. My mother laughed and said women should never shrink. Everyone nodded like it was wisdom. The waiter came, and people ordered drinks. Graham ordered water. I pointed it out and asked if he was trying to look holy now. He said he just did not want alcohol. I said he was no fun. Kara laughed and told him to loosen up. He said he was fine. I could feel the table watching him. I wanted them to see him as the problem. It was easier that way. Tessa asked how we were doing as a couple. Graham looked at me before he answered. He said they were having a hard time. I jumped in and said he had been controlling. I said he tracked money and asked too many questions. I said he acted jealous for no reason. I used the words carefully, like sprinkling spice. Not too much, just enough to make people lean in. My mother asked what Graham did that felt controlling. I said he wanted to review my spending and my plans. I said he demanded to know where I was at night. I did not say I was lying. I said it like a woman being oppressed. It worked. My mother sighed and shook her head. Kara touched my arm like I was brave. Ruth's mouth tightened. Dean looked down at his plate. Graham stayed still. I pushed more because his calm felt like a challenge. I said some people married for love, and some people married for stability, and that was normal. I looked at Graham when I said it. He asked what I meant. I said he knew what I meant. Kara said everyone married for reasons. Tessa said love was complicated. My mother said women needed security. The room started to turn in my favor, and I liked it. Then, I made the mistake of going for the big line again, because the first time it made me feel strong. I said I never loved Graham, and I only married him for the lifestyle. The words landed on the table like a plate breaking, even though nothing broke. There was a quiet moment where even the kids stopped moving. Lila looked up from her napkin. Ethan asked why people were quiet. I told him adults were talking. Graham did not shout. He did not slam his hands down. He simply asked if I wanted the children to hear that. I said the children did not understand. He said children understood more than people liked to admit. I told him he was using the kids to make me feel guilty. He said he was protecting them. My father cleared his throat and asked if we could change the subject. My mother looked uncomfortable but still did not correct me. Kara stared at Graham like she wanted him to explode, like she wanted a clip to post later. Tessa watched me with wide eyes, like she suddenly realized a line had been crossed. Graham stood up. He placed his napkin on the table. He asked Ruth to stay seated. He asked Dean to help with the kids for a minute. He then told me he was leaving. I asked if he was really going to storm out like a child. He said he was not storming. He was removing himself from a harmful scene. I laughed and said he was acting like a victim. He looked at me one last time and said he would not argue in public. Then he walked toward the front and spoke to the host stand. He paid quietly. He did not look back. People at other tables glanced over, because any movement draws eyes. Kara lifted her phone like she might record, but Ruth stared at her, and Kara lowered it. Ruth asked Kara to stop. Kara said she was just checking messages. Ruth said she saw what she saw. I sat there with my cheeks hot. I told everyone Graham was punishing me. I said he always ran away when things got real. My mother told me to breathe. My father asked if I wanted him to call Graham. I said no, because calling him would make him feel important. I said he would come back when he calmed down. But when I looked at the empty chair, I felt the first true fear. It was not romantic fear. It was practical fear. It was the fear of a life-changing shape without my permission. The next week felt like a long hallway with no doors. Graham came home, did what he had to do for the kids, and kept his face under control. He did not beg. He did not shout. He did not do the dramatic thing I expected. That made me more angry than any yelling would have. On Sunday night, I tried to pull him into another argument. I asked if he planned to punish me forever. He said he was not punishing me. He said he was protecting himself and the kids. I told him he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like the home needed calm. I said I was calm, and he was the one creating stress. He looked at me for a long second and said nothing. The silence felt like a wall. Monday morning, I woke up early and found him already dressed. He was packing lunches at the counter with careful hands. He asked Ethan if he wanted crackers or grapes. Ethan said grapes. He asked Lila if she wanted her sandwich cut in triangles. She said yes. Graham smiled, small and real, and it made my stomach twist. It was like he was showing me he could do the family part without me. I told myself he was performing. I asked him why he was acting so sweet now. He asked what I meant. I said he was trying to make the kids prefer him. He said kids did not need sides. I said he was the one who took sides first by judging me. He said he was responding to what happened. I said nothing happened, just words. He said words could change everything. When the kids went to put on their jackets, I stepped closer and asked him if he was still sleeping in the guest room. He said yes. I asked if he was serious about being that cold. He said he needed space. I said space was just distance with a nicer name. He said he did not want fights in the bedroom. I said he was avoiding me. He said he was avoiding damage. That word, damage, made me feel accused. So I attacked first. I said he was acting like some kind of victim hero. He said he did not want to be a hero. He said he wanted a stable routine for the kids. I told him I was stable, and he was the one being dramatic. He did not reply. He just grabbed the car keys. At school drop-off, he walked the kids to the door with me. Other parents stood in the line. Some of them looked at us like they were reading a headline. I hated that. I hated that my private life had a shape people could guess. One mum I barely knew asked if Graham was okay, in a voice that pretended to be casual. I smiled and said he was just stressed with work. I added that he got controlling when he was stressed. I said it lightly, like a joke, so it could not be challenged. Graham heard it. He did not react. He just held Ethan's hand and kept walking. In the car after, I told him he embarrassed me by acting distant in public. He asked how he embarrassed me. I said people could tell something was wrong. He said something was wrong. I said the problem was his attitude, not me. He said he would not argue in the car. That evening, I sat in the living room and watched him move through the house like he had a plan. He did not wander. He did not stall. He did small tasks with clean focus. He folded laundry. He wiped the counter. He checked the kids' backpacks for papers. It was normal, but it felt like a message. I tried to get information by acting sweet. I asked him what he was doing this weekend. He said he had errands. I asked what kind. He said personal errands. I said he never had personal errands before. He said he did now. I asked if he was meeting someone. He said he was meeting responsibilities. He said it in such a calm way that I felt my face burn. I asked if he was trying to scare me. He said he was not trying to scare anyone. He said he was trying to do things the right way. Later, when he went upstairs to put the kids to bed, I walked down the hall and looked at the guest room door. It was closed. I put my hand on the knob and turned it. It did not open. I heard a soft click, like a lock had been used. I stood there with my hand still on the knob, feeling insulted in a way that felt personal. I told myself he had no right to lock me out in my own house. Then I remembered it was also his house, and I hated that too. The next day, at my office, I tried to focus on calls and appointments. But my mind kept drifting. I found myself checking my bank app more than I checked the patient's schedule. I told myself I was being responsible. I also told myself I was making sure he was not doing something behind my back. Cara called during my lunch break. She asked how things were. I said Graham was acting weird and secretive. Cara said he was trying to control the story. She said I should not let him. She asked if I had screenshots of his texts. I said he did not text much. Cara said that was suspicious. I liked how she turned his calm into a problem. It made me feel less guilty. That night, I came home and found the kitchen table cleared like a workspace. Graham had a neat stack of folders. I could see labels, utilities, bank, household. They looked like something from an office, not a home. I asked what they were. He said they were household records. I said why he needed them. He said it was smart to have things organized. I laughed and told him he was being dramatic again. He asked why being organized was dramatic. I said because he was doing it to make a point. He said he was doing it to be prepared. Prepared for what? I wanted to ask, but I did not. Asking would make it real. A little later, I walked past his small desk area and saw his laptop open. A spreadsheet was on the screen again. No title, just rows and columns. He clicked it away when he noticed me. I said he was hiding things now. He said he was keeping things private. I said married people should not have privacy. He said married people should have boundaries. Boundaries. Another word that felt like rejection. That same night, after everyone was asleep, I woke up and smelled something faint in the hallway. It was like warm plastic and paper. Toner. I followed it down and saw the printer light on. A single page sat in the tray. It was blank, like a test print. I picked it up and stared at it like it would confess. Graham came in behind me and asked what I was doing. I said I heard a noise. He said it was nothing and took the paper from my hand. He threw it away and turned off the printer. I asked if he was printing papers about me. He said he was handling life. I said that was not an answer. He said I did not need details right now. The next afternoon at pickup, Lila climbed into the car and asked why Dad's car was pointed toward the street now. She said it like a simple question, but it hit me hard. I said he was just in a hurry for work sometimes. Lila said he used to back in and park. She said now he always parked, like he might leave fast. I told her she was thinking too much. She looked out the window and did not answer. At home, Ethan ran to Graham and asked if Dad could read the dinosaur book. Graham said yes. He sat on the rug and read it in a steady voice. I stood in the doorway and watched, feeling two feelings at once. One feeling was anger, sharp and hot. The other was fear, quiet and cold. The fear felt new. I told myself Graham was doing this to make me look bad. I told myself he was building a case in people's minds. I told myself I was still the main character and he was still the problem. But when I went upstairs and heard the guest room lock click again, I started to wonder if I had made a mistake I could not talk my way out of. By Friday, I started to feel it in my body. Not guilt, not regret, pressure. The kind that made my jaw tight when I woke up. The kind that made me check my phone with shaking hands, like the screen could save me. Graham still did not chase me. He did the kids' breakfast, he did school lunches, he did bath time. He spoke to me only when it was about logistics. If I asked about feelings, he stepped away, like feelings were a trap. I told myself he was being cold on purpose. I told myself he wanted me to beg, and I would not. Kara came over on Wednesday evening with iced coffees and loud energy. She asked what was going on with Graham. I said he was doing a silent power move. Kara said men did that when they had something planned. She told me to stay sharp. She said I should document his behavior and not let him paint me as the bad one. I liked that advice because it made me sound like I was defending myself, not hiding. That night, I tried a softer approach with Graham. I asked if we could reset and start over. He asked what reset meant. I said it meant he should stop acting like I was a criminal. He said he never called me that. I said his face did. He said he was keeping his face neutral. I said neutral was cruel. He asked if I was still seeing Nico. I said Nico was just a friend. He asked if I would stop meeting him alone. I said Graham was insecure. He said it was not insecurity to ask for basic respect. I said respect was earned, not demanded. He said marriage was not a contest. I said maybe it was, and I was tired of losing. He walked away and went to the guest room without another word. A second later, I heard the soft click of the lock again. That sound started to feel like a stamp on my forehead. On Thursday, I got another message from Nico. He asked if I wanted to meet. I said I could not. He asked if my husband was watching me. I said my husband was being weird. Nico said I should not let anyone control me. He said I deserved freedom. I stared at the word freedom and felt annoyed. Freedom was easy to say when you were not the one paying for the house. Friday afternoon, I left work early to do errands. I told myself I was being responsible. I told myself it would prove I was still the stable one. I took the kids with me so I could look like a normal mom in public. At the supermarket, Ethan begged for cereal, with a cartoon dinosaur on the front. I told him no. He started to whine. Lila asked for a snack pack for school. I said yes because it was easier. I filled the cart with my usual things, not cheap, not crazy, normal for us. At checkout, I tapped my card like I always did. The machine beeped and showed an error. The cashier asked me to try again. My face got hot. I laughed too hard and said machines were always broken. I tried again. It declined again. People behind me shifted their weight. A man cleared his throat. The cashier asked if I had another card. I told her I did not. I tried to keep my smile, but it felt stiff. I opened my wallet and pulled out the joint card we used for household stuff. I tapped it. This time it worked, but I could feel the humiliation sitting on my shoulders like a wet coat. I told myself it was a glitch. I told myself it did not mean anything. In the car, Lila asked why the first card did not work. I said the bank app was acting up. Ethan asked if we were poor now. I snapped and told him not to say that word. He got quiet. Lila stared at her hands. When we got home, Graham was in the driveway, loading the kids' backpacks into his car. His car was still pointed toward the street. He asked if the grocery run was fine. I said yes. Then I asked, like it was casual, if he changed anything with the accounts. He asked what I meant. I said my card declined. He said he did not know why. I said he must know. He said banks did strange things sometimes. His voice stayed even, and it made me feel like I was talking to a wall that could smile. I followed him into the garage. I asked if he was trying to embarrass me. He asked how he embarrassed me. I said I had the kids with me. He said he did not control the supermarket machine. I said he controlled everything. He said he controlled his reactions, yes. He closed the trunk and told the kids to go inside and wash their hands. When they were out of hearing range, I stepped closer and asked him what he was doing. I said he was being secretive. I said he was punishing me. I said he wanted me to beg. He told me he did not want begging. He said he wanted stability. I asked if he planned to leave. He said he planned to do what was best for the children. I told him I was their mother. He said yes. He said being their mother did not erase choices. I asked what that meant. He said it meant actions had outcomes, even when people acted like they did not. My phone buzzed. It was Nico. I ignored it, but Graham saw the screen light up in my hand. He asked who that was. I said it was nothing. He said it looked like a name. I said it was a gym contact. He said I did not need to lie. I said I was not lying. He said then I should say it clearly. I did not. I hated that I could not. That evening, I asked Graham to meet me somewhere public to talk. I picked a coffee shop near the office district because I thought it would keep him polite. I also thought, if he got sharp, people would see it. That thought made me feel safer. I hate that it did. We sat at a small table near the window. The place smelled like milk foam and cinnamon. Graham kept his hands around his cup like he was warming them. I tried to start with a soft voice. I said we should stop this tension because it hurt the kids. He said he agreed. I said then he should stop acting like a stranger in our home. He said he would stop when the home was safe for him. I asked what safe meant. He said safe meant honest. He said safe meant no more public humiliation. He said safe meant no more pretending. I laughed and said he was being dramatic again. He asked why I kept calling him dramatic. I said because he was making one photo and a few nights into a crisis. He asked if it was just one photo. I said yes. He asked if it was just a few nights. I said yes. He asked if I would let him see my messages to prove it. I said no, because privacy mattered. He said privacy mattered, but trust mattered too. I said he was trying to trap me. He looked at me and asked if I remembered what I said at the restaurant. I said I only said it because he cornered me. He asked how he cornered me. I said his presence cornered me. He said that was not an answer. I tried to cry, but my tears felt slow, like my body did not believe me. I told him he did not appreciate me. I told him I was lonely. I told him he worked too much. I told him he stopped trying. I stacked excuses like bricks, hoping they would make a wall. Graham listened without interrupting. Then he said he was done debating feelings in circles. He said he would not yell. He said he would not fight in front of the kids. He said he would not argue online or through friends. He said he would handle it properly. The word properly landed hard, like a door shutting, and for the first time, I felt the fear under my anger move up into my throat. The next Tuesday, Graham texted and said we needed to meet in the office tower lobby near his site office. He said it was public and quick. I told myself he wanted a calm talk with witnesses because he was scared to face me alone. I dressed nice on purpose. I wanted to look like the stable wife. I wanted anyone watching to choose me. The lobby smelled like polished stone and coffee. People moved in lines, badges swinging, eyes on phones. I saw Graham near a bench by the elevators. He stood straight, hands empty, face calm. He did not look nervous. That bothered me. I walked up and asked why we could not talk at home like normal people. He said home was not a safe place for serious talks anymore. I asked if he was being dramatic again. He said he was being careful. Before I could push more, a woman in a plain blazer approached. She asked if I was Isobel Marrow. I said yes, and asked who she was. She said she had documents for me and asked me to confirm my name again. I laughed and said this was a mistake. She said it was not a mistake and held out an envelope. I did not want to take it because taking it made it real. But everyone around us could see. A security guard glanced over. 2 people in suits slowed down as they walked past. My hands moved on their own. The top page had my name and Graham's name. The words looked official. The first line I understood was that it was a filing for divorce. My stomach dropped, but I still tried to act above it. I asked Graham if he was serious. He said he was handling it properly. I flipped through, fast and messy. I saw a section about temporary orders. I told him he could not do this without talking first. He said he did talk, many times, and I mocked him in public. I read more, and my breath got short. It said I could not move money from the joint accounts without written agreement. It said I could not take loans or open new credit in both names. It listed a parenting schedule starting this week, with pickups at school and exchanges in public places. It also said Graham had temporary exclusive use of the house until the first hearing date, and that I needed to collect personal items at a set time, with notice. I stared at that line again and again, like it would change if I hated it enough. I told Graham he was throwing me out. He said he was following a process and keeping the children's routine stable. I said the house was my home too. He said it was, but not in the same way anymore. I tried to cry. My eyes watered, but it felt like my face was doing it for me, not my heart. I told him he was doing this to punish me. He said he was doing it to stop the chaos. I said he was making me look evil. He said I did that myself when I said I never loved him and only married for the lifestyle. People kept walking by. I felt their attention like heat. I wanted to explain, but I also knew any explanation would sound like excuses. My phone buzzed in my purse, and I knew it was probably Nico. I did not pull it out. I suddenly understood that Nico could not help me with a hearing date or a house key. Graham looked at his watch and said he had to pick up the kids at the time listed.